And so in effect, what happened in World War I is they fought it through to a stalemate. America enters the scene and decisively, on the side of Great Britain and France, and decisively wins the war. And then Germany is destroyed and punished for the whole thing. So they were destroyed for being a great country. They were destroyed for challenging the British. Hitler comes in and say it was a miraculous thing.
Last reason I'm going to tell you. Who knows the first two laws that Hitler implemented? Hitler, Yimach Shemo V'Zichro, first two laws that Hitler implemented that not only put him in a different status than everybody else for the rest of history, but also made what's called until this day the biggest financial miracle in history. Who knows the first two laws?
Germany was also open season. It was communists and anarchists fighting. They wanted to do the same thing in Germany that they did in Russia. Russia, for decades, was chaos because anarchists killed the Tsar. They killed Alex III, and then Nicholas II took power. Anarchists were bombing things. There was a communist revolution. They slaughtered the royal family. It was a disaster for years. They became a pariah state. It took them a decade to normalize relations with other countries. And so the communists and the leftists wanted to do the same thing to Germany that they had done to Russia.
למה באמת היטלר רע נגד היהודים? מה הוא רצה מהם? מה הפריעו לו? אבל הדברים כתובים כאן במיין קאמפף. זה הספר יצא רק לאחרונה, התירו לתרגם מיין קאמפף בעברית, זה אסור כל השנים. אבל יש לי תרגום קודם יותר שיד ושם תרגם קטעים, להם היה מותר. היטלר טוען בספר שלו שהיהודים הם קומוניסטים. הם עשו את המהפכה ברוסיה. הם הרגו שם 30 מיליון רוסים, את כל האינטליגנציה, בצורה אכזרית ונוראה. ואת זה הם רוצים לעשות לכל העולם. הארץ הבאה בתור זה גרמניה. הם הקימו את המפלגה הקומוניסטית והסוציאליסטית הגרמנית, וזה נכון. אם אנחנו לא נתגבר עליהם עכשיו, הם יחסלו אותנו וישחטו גם כאן 20 מיליון איש את כל האינטליגנציה. וככה הם הלכו מארץ לארץ. כשבסופו של דבר האינטליגנטים היחידים, החכמים היחידים, יהיו רק היהודים.
So Hitler comes in, and the country's like a war zone. The currency is worthless. The economy's destroyed. Degeneracy is rampant. There's transgender stuff, licentiousness, prostitution.
There's transgender stuff back then?
Yeah.
When was...
That's why they were burning books.
Wow.
Those were the books they were burning.
Oh, I didn't... Wow. I'm just shocked there was transgender stuff back then.
Yeah, it's Mansfield or Hirschfield. It had some really innocuous sounding name, but it's this Jewish guy who had this like research center, and they were the pioneers in transgenderism, in early transgender surgeries, homosexuality, all that stuff. Like it was all coming from Berlin. And it was horrible. And Hitler comes in. And that's what the book burnings were about. They were burning all these research books about transgender stuff because it was like morally repugnant. It's the same stuff that's going on today.
Rule number one, no more pornography, no more homosexuality, none of that garbage, not allowed. Berlin in the 30s, in the 20s, was the Sodom and Gomorrah of the day. They were the Las Vegas of the day. They were the Sodom and Gomorrah of the day. Homosexuality, pornography, all the bestiality, all the garbage of the world, that was the capital of the world. He outlawed it. You're no longer allowed, closed all the bars, all the gay clubs, all the production, which were all run by Jewish people, unfortunately.
You know, everybody says the book burnings, they were burning knowledge. That wasn't knowledge. That was perversion. That'd be like if they started burning pornography. Nobody would say that burning pornography is some sick, tyrannical, like backwards. They don't want people to be educated. They would say that's filth. Same deal there. So So anyway, so he goes in, revives the economy, drives out the communists and anarchists, brings organized crime under control, builds all this infrastructure. It was amazing. He was Times Man of the Year. Now, he was anti-Semitic. We have to recognize, though, one, everyone was anti-Semitic back then. That's just true. Henry Ford, Charles Lindbergh, all the presidents, all the leaders of Europe, you name it. Not only that, but also the Jews were extremely influential and did inflict a lot of those problems. You know, all that transgender stuff was coming from Jewish intellectuals. People blame what's happening in America today on the cultural Marxists. That's real. The cultural Marxists were all Jews that came from Berlin, that were driven out by Hitler.
התמונה של פוליטביורו הראשון, זה כמו הממשלה ברוסיה. מתוך 13 חברים, 6 יהודים. מי הקים את הקג"ב? לפני כן קראו לו NKVD. יהודים. אם כן הדברים טובים מפורש. הוא לא שנא את היהודים בגלל שיש להם פאות. הוא לא שנא אותם בגלל שהם שומרים מצוות. בגלל שהם קומוניסטים.
So when people look at the legacy of postmodernism, cultural Marxism in America today, it all came from Columbia. It all came from these guys at Columbia who originally came from Frankfurt in Germany, and they got kicked out because they were Jewish communist radicals. So, and anyway, this is not like a defense of everything Hitler ever did, but you know, when you strip away this,
the whole point is that he was a visionary and he did good things too. That's what but nobody's ever heard that in media ever.
את זה הוא כותב כאן, אתם מבינים עכשיו למה הוא לומדים את זה בית ספר? כי מי כותב את תוכניות הלימודים? אותם שמאלנים. הם ודאי לא יכתבו שהיטלר רצה להרוג את היהודים בגלל שהם אבות השמאל העולמי ואבות המרקסיזם, קומוניזם, לניניזם. אבל את זה הוא כותב. הרסו את כל הערכים. הרעילו את כל הספרות והתיאטרון. מי זה אותם? יהודים שומרי תורה ומצוות הרעילו את התיאטרון הגרמני? מתוך 9 עיתונים גדולים בגרמניה 7 היו של יהודים.
So it's crazy to someone who didn't hear your whole explanation.
Right, yeah.
But when you're explaining it, like Blessing, he kind of makes sense. And it's like, but that's crazy because no one's ever heard this stuff before ever. And even when me and Blessing heard it for the first time, we're like, what?
yeah.
We're just like, I think we did a reaction, but we didn't post it because we were scared. I think we put it on Rumble or I don't know, something.
Second rule. What's the second rule? Second rule was you're not allowed to charge interest. No more interest. Now you would think, why? What does he care about interest? Well, because all the people that had the money, that lent the money out, were Jews. He didn't like it. So he said no more interest. Why? Because of the high interest that the Jews charged people was so high, it ruined, it destroyed the economy in Germany. They destroyed, just like they destroyed Russia a few years before that through their communism over there. Jews destroyed Russia, not Goyim. Jews destroyed. Communism is by Jews. Well, don't let anybody confuse you. You look at history, Karl Marx, all the other Reshaim, they're all Jews. Wicked, but nonetheless Jews. They destroyed Russia, and he wrote in chapter 2 of Mein Kampf, they destroyed Russia, now they're destroying Germany, that's why I have to destroy them. Now, this doesn't make he's right, the point is that's actually real true history. Now, he saw that the Jews are controlling the financial system and they're charging such high interest, they destroyed the German economy to the extent that by the time you arrived to go to the store to buy bread, you had to take a whole horse carriage full of money. By the time you arrived at the store, it wasn't enough. Why? Because the inflation rate was so high.
Wow, okay.
The bread became so much more valuable and your money went down. So now he says, what's the cause of this? Because nobody could afford to do anything because the interest rates are so high. So he decided no more interest rates. You're not allowed to charge interest rates. And at that time, the Great Depression was happening around the entire world. Everyone was in a financial collapse. America was a financial collapse. England was a financial collapse. Everybody else was collapsing. Germany collapsed worse than everybody else. But after he passed this law, of no more interest, within 6 years, 6 years, Germany became the leading, wealthiest economy in the world. They called it a financial miracle. Why? They were the only ones that were bold enough to stop interest. This is one of the biggest reasons of why he hated Jews. Because they destroyed the economy because of their greed. Rabotai, it's not making them right. Don't let this confuse you. But this is happening again.
I think I got red pilled a little bit more this interview.
A little bit, yeah. Well, I'd be the guy to do it. I'm the human red pill.